Here I am once again in the Terang RSL communication dugout. Today is not a good day. Looks like Victoria will go to level 3, which certainly minimises a lot of contact, getting out. But I will try to come down here every so often. Let's face it, there's only me coming down here anyway. Alright, so this video log, I'm going to be talking about Charles William Richard Clifford. Now, Charles Clifford served in the AIF in the 14th Battalion. Sadly, he was killed at the Battle of Bullecourt on the 11th of April 1917. He was a farmer and grazier. He was 24 years of age, and he come from Kolora here in Victoria. This information was supplied by a relative, Gary Clifford, so I'm going to read out some of the extracts from this particular diary, which is very interesting. It talks about not just him, but some of the other guys that didn't come home as well. So whether it was for king or country, church, family, friends, or simply himself, you will never know. But on the 8th of March 1916, Charlie enlisted in the AIF at Geelong. He stated on enlistment that he was 22 and 7 months. He was allotted Army number 6003 and with the rank of private. Campbell Stewart, now I did speak about Campbell Stewart, who was also killed at the Battle of Bullecourt, which was Lila Stewart's brother. Campbell was also known as Ginty or Cam or Stewie, who worked at the Glenormiston butter and cheese factory at Noorat. Well, that is still there. It's dilapidated, just about to fall down, and it's not far from home. So these guys actually worked there. So along with Charlie, with a number of other locals, Ginty and Charlie were great mates, and they were really a part in the army. So obviously they were enjoying army life at the time. So Charlie, Campbell Stewart, James Luke of Terang, Charlie Rutter, who also worked at the Noorat factory, all trained together at the Broadmeadows camp, along with a number of other Terang and district men. Once they all finished their training at the Broadmeadows camp, they proceeded overseas on transport ships, arriving in London, and like many of an AIF soldier sailor, they toured London, Buckingham Palace, but they also caught up with mates as well. They met a lot of Terang boys in London, including Charlie Woods, who was on leave from France. Charlie and his brother, Alan, were in the artillery, and he said he could get Charlie transferred, but I told him not to bother with it. They also ran into Ewan Cameron, Jack Quick, Rick Bowen, Jim Carroll, Percy Colcott, Murray McLean, Jack McLeod, Jim Shremigar, Nelson Gillies, and others. And those names appear on our honour boards here within the Terang RSL Hall. The Battle of Bullecourt, where so many men were killed and never returned home. This is just an extract of I'm about to read about the battle and about those who from the Terang district also were involved. So this was the Terang district men's first real experience of battle. The 14th Battalion had been in the first wave of attack, which overtook the tanks. By 4:50 in the morning, snow-covered battlefields was bathed in the light of flares. The 14th Battalion kept direction, but just before reaching the wire encountered a withering fusillade. The wire in their section was practically intact. A quarter to a third of the attacking force were killed or wounded near the first wire entanglement. So those wire entanglements certainly stopped a lot of them. A large proportion of officers and men were shot as they made for and struggled through the openings and crossed the 50-yard space between the wire and the first trench. The official casualty list for the 14th included 19 officers, 582 other ranks. So out of 750 men who were engaged in combat, only about 150 made it safely back to their lines. Sadly, a month after the Battle of Bullecourt, a casualty list appeared in the Terang Express, listing a number of local men as missing, including Private Charles Clifford, Kolora, Private Victor Cruikshank, Glenormiston, Private Campbell Stewart, Terang, Private James Luke, Terang, Private J.H. Butters, Terang, Private Murdoch McLennan, the sisters. The families of these men and others had a long, agonising wait before hearing official news. The stewards had to wait until August before hearing that Ginty was a POW in Germany. Others had to wait until November. Some others never really found out what happened to their sons, husbands, or brothers that day. Some of the local men who were reported missing in action from the 11th of April weren't German POWs and were never found. Officially, after a set time, they were reported killed in action. And sadly, on the 11th of April 1917, Charlie Clifford was one of these men. Rest in peace, Charlie. So in conclusion, we did lose a lot of men from Terang and District during the Battle of Bullecourt. I'll just read out a few. J.H. Butters, Terang Private. He was a POW on the 11th of April 1917. John Casey from Noorat Private 6004. Killed in action the 29th September 1917. Charlie Clifford, killed in action the 11th of April 1917. Victor Cruikshank was a POW. Murdoch McLennan, POW, Bullecourt. William Porter, killed in action 20th of October 1917. William Primrose, killed in action 16th of 1017. This may not have been the Battle of Bullecourt, but these are the ones that were actually killed in 1917. Of course, Campbell, Stewart, Terang. It's a factory hand, 6103. 14th Battalion. Says he was a POW, but later it was confirmed he was killed in action. So it's quite an interesting read, the information that Gary has given to me, and with his permission, and I'll talk to him, I'll actually publish this one in a PDF format on our website. Okay, well, thanks for viewing, and stay safe. That's all I can say. Thank you.